Yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and play the video. It'll make it make sense.
At some point, I'm going to invest in the whole car setup so I could do this a little easier. But I guess a lot of times I do very impromptu things, so that's why it stays on my mind. I just saw a Kendra G post, and from the post, I can gather that the young lady who was on her show is basically saying she needs a 100% provider so she could stay home and do all of these things, right? And in the comments, of course, Kendra G went off because Kendra is kind of tired of folks at this point, and I get it. And in the comments, people are like, watching Kendra G turn red pill is refreshing. Female Kevin Samuels loading. And while I get the sentiment, I do. There is a difference between providing guidance and being judgmental, right? Kevin Samuels, I think, straddled the fence pretty good. He 1 minute, he was trying to be very guiding, and then the next minute it was just like, okay, you're doing a little bit much. I kind of hate that Kendra G is resulting to that, but I understand why. In my past, I have been a certified life coach, and it was a month in and maybe 6 clients, and I was like, no, I want nothing to do with this. People inherently have incredibly unrealistic just visions of the world around them, and unrealistic wants and needs, right? And then the whole notion is, oh, don't settle. It's out there. What I need people to understand is just because one person can get something, just because something is available in some percentage, doesn't mean you qualify for it. What do I mean by that? I'm a divorcee. I'm also a single parent. So I have one biological child by my husband. I have one biological child by another person. And I am very realistic in my dating prospects. I have a very young child. My youngest son is 1.5, and I have a 10-year-old. So not only are you dealing with 2 children, you're dealing with a very young child. And, the potential person who dates me will encounter both of their fathers at some point. And then I also have my bonus kids who are about to be 21 and 19. So that's a good amount of people to have to navigate. It would be dishonest of me to expect this perfect realm of what relationships will look like for me in the future. Now, granted, I'm also at a point in my life where I've checked all the boxes. So I have time and energy even to just wait. I've been a wife. I've been a girlfriend. I've reached my financial goals. I've reached my educational and professional goals. I'm 43 years old. I'm still young. So I can kind of do, I won't say what I want, but I can be picky. So I don't necessarily have to, settle, because what I'm looking for isn't necessarily all the boxes to be checked. Again, I've already done that. Or I could just say, auntie out here in the streets. That's true. But for the young ladies who are, say, 30, 3 kids, 3 different dads, haven't necessarily reached her career trajectory yet, and that's common in 30. I mean, nobody's saying you have to. You're just not going to qualify for certain men. And that's not to say you're devalued. That's just to say you won't qualify for certain men, just like you don't qualify for certain jobs. It's the same thing. If you look at it from the sense of a job, you have certain skills. You have certain things you don't know yet. You have certain things in your background that could be preventing you from doing that job. Like if you have a criminal record, you're not going to get a job that requires a security clearance, things of that nature. You simply don't qualify, ma'am. And that's okay, because it doesn't mean you don't qualify for every man. That just means certain men are outside of your realm. Apply for the jobs you can actually get. And I think that's where the whole Kendra G thing comes in. For me, at least, watching a young lady, it's like, in her mind, a man should be 100%, providing blah, 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 blah. No, not in this economy. It's unlikely. And she doesn't qualify for the men that would do that. Because I think she was in her 30s and has a couple of kids by different dads. Your typical man who would be able to do that, would be able to afford to do that, is likely looking for a woman who has no kids at all. And he's probably looking for a younger woman too. Let's just be real. Let's just be honest, sis. Let's just be honest. The other part of that is you aren't even in the circles to find these men. You're in a club on the weekends trying to find a high value man. That's not what high value men are. They're just not. And I think I said this in a post before, and a lady came at me about it. I'm like, no, those men are at Chamber of Commerce meetings. They're at conferences with John Hope Bryant. They're at the World Economic Forum. Y'all not going to those places. Let's just be real. Let's just be honest. You don't qualify, ma'am, and that's okay. Apply to the jobs you qualify for, and you'll likely get a job. But if you have the job experience of an admin assistant, you trying to apply for the CEO of Xerox ain't gonna cut it. And that's just real. People have issues with dating out here because they're trying to date in realms they don't qualify for. And they're trying to date people that don't want them and trying to convince those people to want them. You're selling yourself short by doing that, number one. Number two, you're wasting your own time. So I champion for Kendra G because she's out here doing the Lord's work. She has conversations in a way that I think should be very well received in how she presents them. She says the same things Kevin Samuel said, but in a much gentler way. Not that you have to be gentle with people, but when you're sharing and going viral, it comes across a little bit more palatable, I guess. Some of these folks need to not have the palatable piece because they just need some hard truths. But I get it. It's her platform. But I hope she does not turn into a Kevin Samuels. But at the same time, if she does, I get it. Because y'all out here asking, again, for things you don't qualify for. Get your weight up.
Yeah. At some point, your outcome, man. At some point, you have to change what you're looking at. This is why I always say you can only have the relationships that you can afford, and they have nothing to do with money. Nothing. Well, in the statistical realm of economics, they do when it comes down to relationships, of course, in terms of people having budgets and being willing to become an additional parent. Like, this is a much bigger deal than what people have been playing with over time. You know what I'm saying? This puts men and women across the table from each other in a completely different way. You know, it does, because people gonna have to learn how to be realistic about what they can afford, what they qualify for. I love the analogy she used about you can't be a Xerox employee and well, you got a background in working with copy machines and then you're applying to be the CEO. What do you qualify for? You know what I'm saying? Like, you hunt down marriage, but if your parents weren't married, How you gonna? How do you vet? How do you vet? See, a lot of people are missing vetting tools when it comes down to um, finding someone that leads. As far as like leads with marriage, leads with um, what would be appreciated in a relationship. Do they come from a healthy outcome, a healthy situation? It's a lot of moving pieces in that. And the truth is, most of those people are gone. And by gone, I mean taken. They're already raising their kids, they're experiencing their grandkids. Men make up half of, well, women outnumber men 2 to 1. So off bat, they're already in short supply, the men that they want. And then the men that they want don't want them. It's it's separation time. Kevin Samuels, even, some of his commentaries about hitting the wall. The wall is here. It's been there. Now you're just talking about it. Then you got people that's talking about they single by choice. They're single because of the choices they made. If you're single by choice, get out the relationship conversation altogether. You don't see people that like steak complaining about chicken tenders because they don't go where the chicken tenders are. They go where the steak is. And then a reason that they at the steakhouse is because they can likely afford the steak. Think about that. If you can get what you want, then you don't have to complain. So the only people that are complaining are the people that don't qualify for what's available. They don't qualify for what's available or they don't want what's available. There's too many men that's childless and single for this to be a shortage of good men. How about it's a surplus of women that mismanage their bodies? How about that? Nobody want to talk about that, but it's the truth though. There's a surplus, an overstock of women that have mismanaged their bodies. There's not a shortage of men. There's already less men than it is women in general. But you leave out some factors like the abortion rates, 26 million babies being aborted. And male birth is the most of live birth. So it's fair to say in 26 million abortions, the majority of those births that never happened were probably boys. So there goes a great crop of men that's gone. Well, future men that'll never, exist. And who do we blame for that? Well, who's to blame for that? Well, men don't control abortion, so who do you think it is? Yeah. Yeah, this is what it looks like when you start, playing around with the elements of nature and behavior, but you did this to yourselves. You did. And that's why I said this in the past. And then that's where that opening video explains the way women behave. You know what I'm saying? And how they can blame society, which is so crazy. Check this out. Women blame society for the condition of women, but who has the most influence in society?
I mean, at the end of
Women.
the day, like,
So,
yeah,
so,
yeah,
so
yeah.
women have reprogrammed society and then they blame society. No, it's you. It's you. You can't blame society if you say girls run the world. You can't blame society if you say women are 54%, leading single mother homes. You can't blame society when everything in society is catered to you. You got the most education. Hold up. You got the most, hold up. Hold up, let me finish. You got the most education. You person, all of the things that's touted, you know what I'm saying? That says they don't need a man, right? All of this is the symptom, like the words that we're saying are the symptoms that become social media talking points and created all of this narcissistic conversation. But you can't blame society when you have the most influence in society. That's all that I wanted to say. Come on now. Yeah, man. So good luck. Good luck, good luck, good luck. And for those of you that's in a relationship, do what it takes to keep your relationship. Work on it, work on it, work on it. There's nothing out there worth having that doesn't require the heavy lifting and maintenance sometimes. You know what I'm saying? And this is no different, man. So world's changing. Be more situationally aware. Become more aware of media, social media, in terms of media literacy. So a lot of misinformation has got the women that's caught up in this demographic of Kendra G, uh, dating guests. They're left out in the cold. They don't even realize it. They don't even realize it. So it's over with for them. Empathy extinction is underway. The gender war is going to end. Okay. And this is a sign of it. Kendra G's work helps end the gender war. It really does. So like, share, subscribe, follow your boy on YouTube, repost, share. You know, this is beyond the algorithm, man. This is what happens beyond the algorithm. You got to end the gender war. Till next time.